I'd like to call this meeting of the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners to order there. It's a pleasure to see you all. It's a great day to live in Rockingham County, particularly weather-wise, and so I wish it could stay this way for a long time. It's been very comfortable out, and it reminds us what a great place to live there. So we thank you all for coming out and participating in this. Tonight, our invocation is going to be by Pastor Steve Griffith from the Osborn Baptist Church, and we're very pleased to welcome him, followed by a multiple announcements for the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to ask you to stand, and if you would remain standing after the invocation for our pledge.
I don't see Steve here.
Steve is going missing on me.
Well, I can.
Correction there. County Manager Lance Metzler will deliver the invocation.
But I will try to deliver my best as I can. If you would, please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us gather here today, Lord. Please help these commissioners make wise decisions on behalf of all of our citizens here, Lord. Look after the citizens that have attended here today. Please be with them, bless them, and guide them, and give us strength to do what's pleasing in your sight. Through Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to introduce Morgan Bainus, our local 4-H agent, and she's going to introduce the folks that will be giving the pledge tonight. Morgan.
Thank you. If all of our 4-Hers can come up that are here tonight, they'll lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. We have Charlotte Payne, Landon Caton, and Levi and Abby Courier. And you guys can face this way.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Morgan, we appreciate all that you do with the 4-Hers here, and I might mention that Levi was a representative of this county at the State Association of County Commissioner Conference, annual conference this year, and did a fine job on all our behalf. Next, we're going to have at item 5 a recognition. All the commissioners are coming down here, so Melissa, if you want to come forward, and I recognize our Fire Marshal, Melissa Joyce. We're going to go stand with her as she makes a presentation.
Okay.
We're supposed to do the proclamation for the 4-H.
Proclamation for 4-H, yep.
We'll just do that next, I guess. We'll do the proclamation next. Okay.
I'm going to read through it first, if that'd be okay. I want to give you all a little bit of history of what this recognition is about. Williamsburg Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department decided early in 2022 that they wanted to hold a fire camp for juveniles, or a youth fire camp. This camp was designed to help spark the interest of young people in firefighting. First annual fire camp was held at the Williamsburg Fire Department in June of 2022. They had 35 attendees, which is great for a fire camp, and a considerable amount of volunteers in addition to that 35 attendees. The camp ran for 3 days and lasted from about 8:30 in the morning till 12 noon. They had such a great success last year, they hosted another fire camp with almost as many attendees this year as what they had last year. The camp has provided the kids with a vast knowledge of the fire service, including history of using the bucket brigade. If anybody's not familiar with the bucket brigade, excuse me, it's where the kids have to dump in a bucket and fill up a bucket down and pass a line to get the water to the fire, and that's the way they used to do it in the 1800s. So giving the kids that experience gave them some knowledge. They also learned CPR and hemorrhage control. They completed obstacle courses just like regular firefighters do. They even learned how to wedge a sprinkler head. That's where you got to put this little diamond-shaped piece of wood into a wedge, and meanwhile, they're getting soaking wet while all this is going on. Many other challenges in the fire service, too. The kids really had a great time. We had the opportunity this year to go out and spend the whole week with them, all 3 days. The camp was spearheaded by an individual with a lot of enthusiasm for helping kids, and not just kids, but adults also. While being a firefighter with Williamsburg, she also is a rescue tech with Reedsville Rescue, and she teaches at the Fire Academy at Rockingham Community College. Angie Ward is this individual, and we're grateful for her time and dedication, not only to her department, but to the children that are in this county. At this time, we'd like to recognize Angie for her commitment and dedication to the people and the children of this county. Come on down, Angie. This says, for her dedication and duty during the recent youth fire camp, Rockingham County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Angie. I'm gonna sit that right there if that's okay.
Hey, morning.
You got it.
Okay. You want me to read it? Yes or no?
I think she's going to read it.
Okay.
Morgan, it's a little bit out of order, but I'd like to recognize you here for the proclamation. I believe you're ready to do that.
Yep. So I'd like to introduce Charlotte Payne. She's going to be speaking on behalf of Rockingham County 4-H.
Whichever one.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Thank you for allowing me to speak about the 4-H program. My name is Charlotte Payne, and I attend Rockingham County Middle School. I joined 4-H when I was about 5. 4-H began in 1909 when North Carolina started State College to sign an agreement with the United States Department of Agriculture, which created Farmers Boys Club or Corn Club. They were the first club that gave 4-H its start. Slowly, more and more clubs started to be added, such as poultry and swine clubs. Clubs for girls were around 1911 and focused mainly on canning and gardening. The emblem of 4-H is 4-leaf clovers with H's on each of the 4 leaves. The H's represent heads, heart, hands, and health. Our slogan is learning by doing, and our motive is making the best better. Both of our motive and slogan are represented and acted upon in everything we do in our organization. We are involved in countless projects, programs, and events, all gathered to these 2 phrases. 4-H is the largest youth development organization in the nation. In North Carolina alone, we have 2,006 million members. In Rockingham County, we impact around 26,000 youth each year. Rockingham County has around 8 clubs ranging from livestock clubs to various community-driven clubs. 4-H as its youth continues to be successful because of its constant success from our agents, leaders, volunteers, and families. 4-H has changed my life in so many ways, and it has given me a new sense of confidence in myself and made me more driven to reach the goals that I have set for myself. I have learned leadership skills as well as vital social skills which currently help me now and will help me tremendously in the future. Before I joined 4-H, I would not have had the confidence in myself to stand up here today and do this speech. I would have never willingly gone up to someone I didn't know and started talking to them. But now I can hold and will hold a conversation with strangers. I have learned to advocate for myself. I would like to share with you some of the experiences I have had in 4-H. I'm part of the Charlotte 4-H Club, where we do community service projects, study livestock, prepare for judging competitions, and livestock shows. I attend livestock shows, livestock judging, skill-a-thons, and quiz bowls, and sales competitions. In addition to being active and participating in many of the non-livestock activities that 4-H has to offer, 4-H has given me countless opportunities to experience new things that I may not have gotten to experience if I wasn't in 4-H. Over the summer, I attended an event called 4-H Congress. At Congress, we attended presentations, went to district meetings, and even had 2 dances. We participated in a candle lighting ceremony, voted for state officers, and completed a hands-on community service project called Hooked on Books, where we collected books for children. Probably one of my favorite things is to participate in livestock shows. Showmanship is one of my favorite things to do. This season has been very rewarding to see my progress that I have made in skills and presentations for my animals. I have learned so much in my time in 4-H, and I'm excited to see what new opportunities are in store for me in the coming years. Thank you for your time tonight, and I hope that you and everyone in this room has learned a little more about the amazing organization that 4-H is. I would now like to ask the Commissioners of Rockingham County to adopt the proclamation of 4-H Week in Rockingham County.
Good job.
I asked our county manager to read the proclamation.
National 4-H Week Proclamation. Whereas 4-H youth across the nation are leading efforts to solve problems in their communities and make a difference for their futures. And whereas 4-H is the largest youth development organization in North Carolina and the largest in the nation with over 6 million participants. And whereas 4-H in North Carolina claims 261,000 youth members and 13,000 volunteers, while Rockingham County's 4-H program numbers more than 2,600 youth and more than 260 volunteers. And whereas 4-H is part of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension System of NC State University and NCA&T State University, is a program where youth learn through opportunities that provide them hands-on experiences in 4-H mission mandates of science, engineering, and technology, healthy living, and citizenship. And whereas 4-H has connected youth and their communities with the innovative research and researchers from our nation's 112 land-grant universities and colleges for more than 118 years. Now, therefore, the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim October the 1st to the 7th, 2023, as National 4-H Week in Rockingham County. We urge the people of this county to take advantage of the opportunity to become more aware of this special program that enhances our young people's interest in their futures as part of Rockingham County. 4-H Youth Development, and to join us in recognizing the unique partnership between our county and our state university system, adopted this 18th day of September 2023.
Having heard the proclamation, do I have a motion regarding approval?
Motion, go ahead. Motion to approve.
Second. Seconded. Further discussion? Here none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay. And thank you very much. And I understand you're going to represent us next year at the statewide conference. So thank you very much. We look forward to that.
Thank you, Ms. Payne.
Picture with us? Yeah. We're going to start charging. This will improve our area.
Thank you. Wait, 1 second. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Nope.
They grew up quick.
Thank you.
Half the crowd there. That was half the crowd there.
My mother was a 4-H'er.
Put his hands really hard.
I see a lot of our emergency responders are leaving, and I had planned to leave this till the last, but I want to recognize Williamsburg in particular for hosting the training session, the fire camp that our fire person talked about there. And it's great to have such volunteerism and things that have a beneficial effect for our young people as well. Gentlemen, you've had the agenda for tonight's meeting in hand for almost 2 weeks. Do we have any motions concerning approval or disapproval thereof?
Make a motion to approve. I'm sorry?
The closed session.
Make a motion to add the amendment of closed session to the agenda pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A1, approved closed session minutes.
And the rest.
NCGS 143-318-11A5, instruct negotiating agents, and NCGS 143-318-11A3, consult with attorney.
Motion made. With the amendments and seconded, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay. Likewise, you've had the consent agenda for the same amount of time and had a chance to review it. For those not familiar with the consent agenda, these are items generally of a non-controversial nature that are dealt with administratively. If you do have questions, please contact Mr. Lance Metzler, our county manager, and he'll be happy to describe the details thereof. That said, do we have a motion to either approve the consent agenda or approve any items out of it?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Seconded. Further discussion? Hear none. All in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Tonight we have public comment. It's item 8. And we got it right now, Mr. Alcorn, and you're the first man up here. That was your objective, and you have succeeded. And as he's coming up, I'm going to ask the county manager to delineate the rules regarding.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to county business or items on the Board of Commissioners' agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Commissioners and not to staff, the audience, or media. The chairperson shall open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when he or she approaches the podium. Each citizen shall be allotted 3 minutes. Citizens will be allowed to yield their time on a specific topic by utilizing one more attendee's time. This will allow no more than 6 minutes. The total of time allotted for the public comment period is 30 minutes. Your time will be displayed on the monitor in front of you. The time clock will start with 3 minutes unless yielded time to 6 minutes. You will hear a beep at 1 minute to alert you to wrap up your comments. If you already yield time or time is yielded to you, then please let the chairman know in advance. Speakers will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, or use language of a personal nature which insults or demeans any person or which, when directed to a public official, is not related to his or her official duties. The Board of Commissioners may accept written comment in lieu of oral statements. Written statements can be delivered to the county manager's office. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Mr. Alcorn.
Wayne Alcorn. I live at 340 Westerly Park Road, Eden. I'm a lifetime resident of Rockingham County. I was signed up to speak before the rezone voting decision was revealed to the public on August 21st, but I didn't get to speak that night. I thank the Lord for giving me the opportunity to say what He has laid on my heart. Much like our country was under attack on 9/11/2001, our county and state is under attack by the devil today. I thank the Lord for each person who has stepped up to fight against this casino complex. I am thankful for all God's children who are praying for the proposal to be stopped. The board chairman made the following comment at the opening about the opening prayer on August 21st meeting, and I quote him. He said, "I don't know if God was listening, quite frankly, but I was." That comment sort of set the stage for the whole meeting. I do know that God is listening, quite frankly, to all prayers of His children. It's not about I, it's all about Him. A lot of our local and state leaders are blinded by the dollar marks in their eyes and the money in their bank accounts. They are unable to see how our state will be downgraded by casinos. I thank God for His enlightenment of what our current commission board is all about. Now we see. The original King James Bible says, "The love of money is the root of all evil." The board approval of rezoning is the root of the casino complex evil. But there is good news. The good news is the gospel of Jesus Christ, that he lived, that he died on the cross for all of mankind's sin, that he was buried, and that he rose again in 3 days. And God is still in control, and I am praying for his guidance and direction to step us through this mess, whatever needs to be done. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alcorn. Lawrence Newman.
Lawrence Newman II from Mayadane, North Carolina, at 131 Bowl Street. I was originally from Rockingham County in my earlier life before my mom got killed in a head-on collision over on Freeway Drive in Reidsville, North Carolina. I recently moved back in 2017 because taxes were low, good community area in Mayodan, and good low rates in everything in the area to where I can go to, instead of city life where crime is high. Now, I've heard this casino is trying to come to North Carolina, and I'm praying in Jesus' name that it gets stopped. I've been in contact with Focus on the Family and K-Love radio station. That's a Christian ministry radio. They're helping me pray and helping us all pray that's standing against this in God's name. I'd like to read something that a lady said on the Charlie Kirk Facebook page, where she said, "Coming from a place that has a casino every other block, along with a green shop on the other side of the block, please keep fighting. The violence has doubled, tripled since they both came in. We can't get workers either. Marijuana is a gateway drug for kids. Do not let them convince you otherwise, and it makes them lazy." There's a gentleman that came to the Ellisboro Baptist Church, and I think my church that I go to at True Gospel, that said people are committing suicide up at the Cherokee Reservation Casino. Now, if that's what you want here, I don't. I want good manufacturing jobs. I want good shopping jobs, not this demonic plague that's coming here. This is a spiritual warfare that has started against God, and I'm standing for God. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Doug Isley.
Doug Isley, 1790 Flat Rock Road, Reidsville, North Carolina. Lifetime resident, Rockingham County. Gentlemen, I'd like to encourage you tonight as the Board of Commissioners, Kevin, Don, Mark, Charlie, Houston, County Manager, Mr. Albright, that you share with the public what led up to the June text amendment, changing the UDO and the language allowing for electronic gaming in Rockingham County. Where's the documentation also for the trip to Maryland to visit the Cordish Group and their facilities? Where's the bills? Where's the record of going into closed session? There should be documentation. You can't hide under economic growth or relocation, because casinos and VLTs, video lottery terminals, are illegal in the state of North Carolina as of today. There's still talk of it, but they're still illegal. So how can this board and the county manager and administration go on a trip to talk about a casino when it's illegal in North Carolina? Y'all got behind the sheriff years ago to get rid of all the video lottery terminals. It took him forever to go around and get rid of all this crap. And we were all fighting to get rid of it. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's tune has changed. Y'all can come out tonight and set the record straight with the public that you're here to represent the folks in this county. The public can only assume the worst until you speak up. I'd also like to encourage you also, give me just 1 second here, to let folks know about the other events that led up to this. I can't find this, but it was told in a memo that the planning board received notification from the county leadership. And as far as I know, you 5 gentlemen are county leadership. The attorney is hired. The county manager is hired. You're the leadership. So why do I have an email here that the attorney is sending information to the planning board suggesting that we change the text? That contradicts what you said, that it's county leadership. So who's running the show? Is it you? Is it Mr. Albright? Is it Mr. Metzler? Is it somebody in economic development? You're the ones that got voted in. You're the representatives. I'd also like to, I don't see the clock. How much time we got, Lance?
Your time is up.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Concludes public comment. We're now moving to a public hearing, but prior to opening that hearing, Mr. Marizano.
Good evening. Is it displaying? I don't see it over here.
We can see it.
You can? Okay. This is case
Can the public
2023.
see it?
Can you see that out there? Can everybody see that? Okay.
It just showed up finally on the TV over here. This is a rezoning case. It's 2023-13. It's a request to rezone a portion of a parcel of land from light industrial conditional district to highway commercial conditional district, and 2 parcels from residential agriculture to light industrial conditional district. Primary location of the main parcel is 1201 NC Highway 68. It's in the Huntsville Township. Again, this is a conditional rezoning, and the planning board on August 14th voted unanimously to recommend approval with amendments. And speaking of those amendments, I apologize, the packet didn't have them in there. You've got updated list of highway commercial uses in front of you. The green highlights are what they requested at the planning board to be added back into the requested uses. Originally, they were struck out, and now they've been requested to be back in. The planning board did vote to move forward with that amendment. As you can see, we're all the way in the southwest corridor of the county, almost in Guilford. Here's the zoning map, the area that is hashed. All 3 parcels there, those are the ones we are discussing. As you can see, they're surrounded by residential agriculture, some RP, other LI in the general vicinity. The environmental map, our land use map, this is in our primary G3 corridor for high-intensity growth. We have an aerial shot so you can get a glimpse here of what's already there. It's been light industrial conditional district basically since 1988 on that main tract of land. The request is to, and I'll get that to the next section here a little bit, but a little bit about, what am I looking at? 6.5 acres on the southwest corridor to be zoned to the highway commercial conditional district, and then the 2 smaller parcels up north and northeast of the parcel that are RA presently to also be included into the LICD district of the main body. Here's a site plan to that effect, but I'm going to zoom in for you real quick. There's the 6.5 acres to be rezoned to highway commercial. It's the bit that's right there on Lauren Road, right at the entrance when you come onto the property. And then the other 2 to be LICD up in there in the top. The color's not showing up on the map. I apologize. I got it up here. So again, the planning board did recommend approval of this unanimously with these 4 extra additional uses added back into the highway commercial conditional district of automobile parts sales, automobile sales and rentals, automobile service repair stations, and automobile storage, excluding wrecked and junk vehicle yards. These parcels are located in our G3 district. This is our growth corridor. It is intended for heavy highway commercial. It is intended for industrial uses. Our land use plan does also play into this, recommending the expansion of existing and current commercial uses of properties. And the applicant has chosen to exclude several uses that would be less conducive to the general area around them as part of that conditional district. And with further questions from that, if you'd like.
Gentlemen, you have any questions before we open the public hearing? Thank you. We appreciate that. That said, I now open the public hearing regarding this particular zoning case number 2023-13. I have only one name signed up, Mr. Brent Stevers. If you'd come forward and...
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Brent Severs. I'm with FEI Civil Engineers and Land Surveyors, 8518 Triad Drive, Colfax, North Carolina. And I'm really here to field any questions you guys may have associated with the rezoning case.
Thank you, Mr. Severs. Questions for... Gentlemen, I'm fairly familiar with it. Unless there are other questions out there, please let us know at this time. I'm going to close the public hearing. Hearing no questions, we thank you, sir, including pronouncing Colfax properly. Do you have anything to add? That said, it's been presented, public hearing's been accomplished. Do we have a motion for or against this particular rezoning? No questions? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Berger and seconded by Mr. Hall.
Amended conditions.
With the amended conditions.
Yes, sir. Further comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay. Rezoning is approved. Thank you, so, and thank all your staff for their efforts on our behalf. Derek Southern, our Assistant County Manager, and Pat Galloway, our Director of Financial Services. Are you alone tonight?
Good evening, gentlemen. Tonight I'm here to make a request for us to move money from the general fund in the amount of $304,430 for the replacement of our current finance and HR payroll system. As you know from our budget meetings in the fiscal year 22-23 and in 23-24, the request at that time through our CIP plan was to replace our software that we're currently using. Through this process, and the cost for this will be for a new implementation from the current vendor that we're using today. It will not be an upgrade. We're basically starting over from scratch and just migrating the data over and then implementing a new system. This came to conclusion after we reviewed several different products from both small companies that we would have to do a portion of each, like they would do payroll, they would do finance, they would do our budgeting, and then we would have to marry the softwares together. We also looked at vendors that did all in one, very similar to this one. At the conclusion of that, we conducted a business process review, and we concluded that it would be best for us to stay with the current vendor, but do a complete new implementation. And from those business process reviews, we learned a few things that we did incorrectly when we implemented the last systems, which caused a lot of our problems over the last 10 years using this software. So our plan is to implement new and to address those concerns as part of the process. What we're requesting tonight is the move of the money to do the implementation, which we expect to take about 18 months. And then at the time of implementation, before go live, we will come back and then make another capital request that accounts for the software assurance and maintenance cost that goes along with this software. We do have a committed price of that of $133,000 per year, so that'll be moving forward. So we are spending less money up front, but the ongoing cost of the maintenance is a little bit higher than what we're using today. You guys have any questions?
Yes, you used an acronym. I want to be sure that everybody knows what that means. You said CIP. What is that?
Our capital improvement plan.
So this has been on the capital improvement plan?
Yes, it's part of our discussions for several years now.
Very good, thank you. And the other thing, you said this is going to be more expensive annually, but less upfront. Will that alleviate some infrastructure expense that we have now?
Over time, it will, but at the current infrastructure, we're on a recycle plan. So at our next recycle, when we do hardware, there will be the potential of hardware savings at that time. Mainly, the most costs will be related to software licensing that we have to run with SQL because this will be in the cloud.
So with this, though, it'll keep us current. We won't get behind, years and years behind. This will keep us current on the leading edge of technology.
That is correct. As part of this software, going to the cloud when they do quarterly updates or twice a year updates, and we will roll those updates into our product, where today we got behind on those updates because of hardware restraints and unable to upgrade some of our software.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I believe Commissioner Hall took all my questions, so thank you.
Sorry.
I only have one generally for public knowledge. You either in your previous capacity or as assistant county manager have been with this program since we initiated the inspection of it.
Yes, I've been here through the entire process of the inspection. We looked at other softwares, and we met with other organizations. We attended meetings at conferences, and this is the conclusion we came to.
Well, since you said it's a conclusion, I assume you have no other options to offer us?
Not at this time. We're coming with you with our recommendation from finance. This is not straight from the IT or assistant. This is in work with finance and HR looking through this, and as well as IT.
Commissioner Barrow.
Just a couple of technical questions. So since we're staying with the same vendor, do we expect it to be seamless as we're transitioning information from the old system to the new system?
No, sir.
Okay.
And that is part of our problem. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Implementation of this large being seamless and somebody told you would be false.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of work ahead of us of making sure that we put the correct data in the system.
Okay. Thank you.
Further questions? Hearing none. Is there a motion to either approve or disapprove?
Make a motion to accept the recommendation.
Motion made to approve
Second.
and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by nay. Thank you, Derek. We appreciate that. New business, Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir.
None. Before we go to commissioner comments there, I recognize out there a previous employee of the county, and I got to tell you, my personal experience with Hazel Puckett has been she's been most helpful, and she represented the county well, but it's been beneficial for all citizens to have you. So thank you for being here tonight and sharing. That said, we're going to move to commissioner comments, and Commissioner Barrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you for everyone watching at home. A couple of events coming up in the community. The Shiloh Fire Department will be hosting a bingo night this Friday. Doors open at 5. Bingo begins at 6. Also, we have the Huntsville Elementary School PTO is putting on their fall festival this Friday. That'll be going from 5 until 8. And then we also have all of our high schools having football season, so please go out and show some support for your local high schools. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell.
So I want to remind you again that on September the 30th, we'll be having our Youth Outdoor Day. And we've got a lot of people that's going to be attending this. Antler Boost will be there. Rockingham County Emergency Services will always be at these events in case something happens. North Carolina Bow Hunters Association, Boneyard Archery, North Carolina Wildlife Habitat Foundation, which is where we make, or where you can make you can make a donation, but it's tax.
Tax-free.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, so unlike years past where you made a donation, but you didn't get to take that off your taxes, you can do that through the Habitat Foundation this time. Ruger will be there, National Wild Turkey Federation, of course, the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission will be there. So there'll be fishing for the kids. They'll be able to fish in the pond. We'll have this at the Reedsville Police Club over in Reedsville. So they'll be able to fish, they'll be able to shoot bows, they'll be able to shoot 22 rifles. We've got, I think we've got 2 rifles being donated by Ruger that we will be giving away through a drawing. I think there'll be a bow there for that as well. So it's going to be a big day. And for you adults, you know, while you're there with your children, we'll be having a pig picking there starting about 11:30. So plenty of barbecue. Debbie's will be doing that, so you know it'll be good. And we look forward to having you from 9 till 2 over there. And you can go out to the county's website, get the details again, but there's also a liability waiver that we'll ask you to sign on there for your children to participate in the activities for that day. But if you don't get that on the website, you can do that at the time that you come to the function on September the 30th from 9 till 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. Commissioner Berger.
Just a couple of things. One, I've had a number of people ask me about the facilities that are opening up around the county. These are unlicensed, unregulated, and quite frankly, I believe unlawful facilities that have video machines in them. I'm not sure exactly how they're operating, but you know, the county is not authorizing them to operate in any shape, fashion, or form. Beyond that, I do want to thank Commissioner Powell for his hard work and really expanding and growing that Youth Outdoor Day. Thank you for that. And I do want to also give a congratulations to a young man that attends Reedsville High School. His name is Paul Weiderman. Paul has not only excelled in the classroom, but recently selected to represent the state of North Carolina in the 2023 Shrine Bowl. That'll be played, I believe it's December the 16th in South Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Berger. Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I'd like to say thank you to all those who came tonight to participate in our government. Thank you, Morgan, and for all you do with 4-H and the 4-H members who led the pledge tonight. We appreciate you guys. Also, I see in attendance tonight Paul Sinowitz, our Planning Board Chair. Thank you for your attendance tonight and for all your hard work you provide to the county. We appreciate you. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I'm kind of excited about this announcement. It's called Envision. This is Rockingham County Youth Career Expo, and I frankly wish we had been doing this annually for quite some time. It will occur October 5th and 6th at Rockingham Community College. It will be on the 5th for 7th graders, and all the 7th graders throughout the county will be invited to this Career Expo. And on the 6th, we will have all the 10th graders throughout the county. We'll have over 50 companies represented. I believe it's actually 52 exactly. And they'll be providing hands-on activities to show all these 7th and 10th graders about the county jobs that are available. People like Duke Power and Pike will be doing demonstrations outside, but these will be hands-on activities where these youngsters will be able to not only see and hear, but be part of the exercise. Now, each of the students will receive a booklet, and I'm making this announcement because I want parents to look for it if you've got a 7th grader or a 10th grader, and later on when we have it, because right on the very inside cover, it has a pathway chart that will allow these students to choose how to get to whatever career they've chosen, and it gives examples of what they need to do training-wise, education-wise, and so forth, and explains many of the terms that the working public has to do. I need to recognize in particular our economic expansion team headed by Lee Cochran, and be sure and pass on to your staff our congratulations on this marvelous project, and I think it will be a great reward to all our students. And I hope a lot of parents show up so that they can see what's being made available. And this is being done in concert not only with your county administration and the economic development team, but RCC will be hosting it, I believe, in the gym. I believe it's in the gym. They'll be hosting it there, and it's being facilitated also by Rockingham County Schools. So great opportunity. If you know a 7th or 10th grader, make sure that they're aware of it and they show up for this thing. I believe the school system is providing transport from the schools. It's just something that I'm very excited about, and I think we need to do more and more things like that to involve our younger people with career choices. I have nothing to add. If there's nothing more here, we have a need for a closed session. Do we have a motion to move into closed session?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A1, 11A5, and 11A3.
Motion? Second. Discussion, here none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. And Roy, for your people and anybody else here, we do not anticipate any action after coming out of closed session.